to this computer. Okay, recording is now in progress. I have nobody in the waiting room. It is 7 minutes after 6. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to open up PowerPoint and
Just people do we have?
It says we have 19 participants.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have me in there?
If you're here, then yes.
Okay.
Is that for a slideshow from the beginning? Okay. Let's go ahead and
Boy.
I guess it's full screen, but my screen's a little funky. Okay, so right now, question number 1 is up on the screen. Okay. The ball becomes dead in all the following situations except. So which one does the ball not become dead in?
Illegal pitch.
D.
Hang on a sec. I got somebody at the door. Hang on, Rox. Back. Rox.
Legal pitch. That's right. Legal pitch.
Did
There goes the
Tony.
whole point of not telling the answers.
Okay.
Tony,
Relying on the smart guy.
do these circles, do these have the circles and squares and
They have
Yeah, right underneath where he's blacked it out.
They have circles.
You can only have one
Blacked out.
answer. There's not a chance for multiple answers. It's only one.
There's only one answer per question. I've blocked out the answer column because this is my test, and I don't want you guys to see my answers.
They've already answered question 1.
Okay, illegal pitch.
so I don't want a 60%.
I got a little better than that, but yeah. But just because, like I said, these questions will not be in this order. Okay. So this is a fairly straightforward question. Does anyone not know or feel that they did not know the answer to that question? Okay. If you've been working softball, you know an illegal pitch is not a dead ball. It's a delayed dead ball. Okay. Okay. Question number 2. At the end of the 6th inning, the home team is leading 8-5. In the top of the 7th inning, the visiting team scores 4 runs. During the bottom half of the 7th inning, after 2 batters reach base, but no runs have been scored, the game is halted because of rain.
So we're not supposed to give the answers, right?
You can. That's
Oh,
I can't give you the answers, but you guys as a group can come up with the answers.
okay. We're going to revert back. The home team wins.
Yeah, B. Yeah.
B, okay. Anyone think that it should be any of the other answers? You might want to come sit over here so you can see Jeff.
Just to review that, let everybody know what constitutes a legal game, a complete game.
Right. So, does anyone know what rule this is?
It's under ending games. I think it's 3.
Right. So, unless there is something in your state rules, which our state doesn't have a rule, if the game goes past the 5th inning, it's a legal game, correct?
Yes.
So if the game has to be called because of rain in the 7th inning, it's a legal game. And if both teams have not had the same number of at bats, or the home team is ahead and has 1 less at bat, then it's a ball game. Okay. So, and you revert back if, like I said, if both teams have not had an equal number of at bats, or the home team is ahead with 1 less at bat.
I know I was one of the first games where you'll run into this is with daylight savings time.
Right.
I know me and Brian Smith ran into that almost at Buena last year. We got the inning completed. We got the game completed, but we
Right.
were running close to daylight. So we're going to want to know what time the sun goes down. If you're getting close, that's the time to call the game.
Yeah. So
So-
you need to, that's a good point that Dan brought up that I will stress, and I apologize. I'm kind of off camera because Jeff Wardway came in and he's sitting here looking at my screen because I didn't know anyone was coming in tonight. Otherwise, I would have had it up on the TV for him. But for the first month of the season, until daylight savings time happens, you need to know what time sunset is at your location. Okay. Please note it is different from Santa Barbara to Agoura.
Yeah.
You know, and in between,
Inland.
everyone's time is a little different. Okay. But if you have an iPhone, if you go into your weather app, it's going to tell you what time sunset is where you're standing. Okay. But that's something you need to discuss at the pregame meeting, at the plate meeting pregame, because so that you don't have a dispute later where one coach says, no, sunset's 5:20, not 5:05.
Always remember, doesn't matter what sunset is. If you think it's dark, it's dark. So if you started, if there's an inning going to start 10 minutes before sunset, there's no use starting that just to take it away.
Does the league have
We have to
a
go
standard?
till sunset time.
Does the league ever have a standard offset from sunset, like
No,
10 minutes after sunset? Is there a
Not-
specific time?
not in high school. In high school, it is sunset.
And that should be the end time?
Yeah, that is the end time in high school.
A lot
Okay.
of times also you may have cloud cover and some hills around you.
Right. Sometimes it may get dark before sunset, you know, depending upon cloud cover, weather. You know, if you don't feel it's safe to continue playing, that's the end of that game. Okay. Anybody have any more questions on question 2?
Just pointing out, well, I know I didn't know this, but it's rule 4.2.2, but under 4.2.3, it actually says if the state association hasn't adopted game-ending procedures, you can basically shorten or end the game by mutual agreement of opposing coaches and the plate umpire.
Right.
So where you're talking about your pre-game meeting, you can say, and this game will end at sunset and we'll revert back. Do you both agree? Yes. Boom. Then whoever's
Okay, you can have every agreement you want, but when it gets dark, it's dark. Do not stretch the game.
no, I understand that.
If you
I'm
tell
just
them that. The problem with telling them that is if like we were saying, there's a hill in your way or something, and 15 minutes before sunset it's dark, they're going to come back. Well, you said we were going to play until here. So I wouldn't. If you want to tell them when sunset is, that's fine, but don't use that as a hard and fast time, because different areas, different how fields are turned and everything. Don't play when it's not safe.
Okay. Moving on to question number 3. The ball always becomes immediately dead when A, while running to first base, the batter runner stops to delay being tagged. B, a batter strikes at a pitch that touches him. C, a runner passes another runner. Or D, a batter runner is obstructed before touching first base.
B.
B.
B. Anybody else have a different answer? Is it legal for a runner to stop between home and first base?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
What
back
can
the other
they
way
not
around.
do? What can
Take
they
that
not
backwards.
do?
Go backwards.
They
cannot
cannot
go backwards.
So they can stop and make the first baseman come to them and tag them. Okay.
They just can't get in a rundown.
Right. No, they can't get in a rundown, but a runner passes another runner. What's your call as an umpire?
She's out, live ball.
Point to
Now,
the
but
runner
it's-
who passed the other one and yell out, but you don't stop anything.
Right. And then the batter runner's obstructed before first base. What's your call? Delayed dead ball, right?
Yes,
On a caught fly ball, though, that's negated.
Correct, but that's not the
Well,
point. It's not,
no.
it's not an immediate dead ball is my point.
I know, I'm just pointing it out, though.
So, so the only one that is an immediate dead ball is a batter swings at a pitch and it hits him. Okay,
That was question 4, not 3.
yeah. Oh, did I skip 3? Oh, wow.
Yep.
I don't have 3 on here. Yeah, let's see what question 3 was.
Wonder it took you so little time to do this.
It was missing from the other document. Question 3. B1 enters the batter's box on the right side while the pitcher is in position ready to pitch. B1 disconcerts the pitcher by moving to the left-hand batter's box. The correct ruling is answer A, allow the pitcher to reset and continue to play. B, allow the pitcher to reset and warn the head coach the next infraction would result in an out on the batter. C, the ball is immediately dead and the batter is called out.
see,
Or D, an illegal pitch is called on the pitcher.
I like D.
A
C.
A and B together.
and B together.
See,
C is the correct answer. It's an immediate dead ball. It's basically interference on the offense. So that's where we're going on that one. Okay. Question
5.
Okay, question 5 now. Did I have? Oh, 3
Oh,
was
there's
in
3.
order.
Oh, it shows up. And there it is. It's got the
Your
answer
answer.
right.
Yeah. That one got missed. Yeah, there you go. Okay, question 5. Bases are loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning and the score is tied 3-3. B4 hits a fair ball that clears the home run fence. What is the final score?
Please, no one say B.
A rule change this year.
Anyone have a not understand why it's A? Okay, moving on to question 6. A fair batted ball is wedged into the fence. The umpire should A, call a dead ball and award the batter 2 bases from the time of the pitch. B, call a dead ball and award the batter a home run. C,
Yeah.
call a dead ball and award the base that the umpire judges the batter would have reached had the ball not become wedged. Or D, award the batter the base that the batter was closest to when the ball became wedged.
A,
D.
Whoa, wait a minute. We got lots of different ones there.
Okay. How many people think A?
Oh, fair
A.
batted ball. I'm sorry. I was thinking pitched batted ball.
That pitch.
Okay. So we have a fair batted ball gets lodged. What is that? What's the ruling?
Ground rule double.
Ground rule double. Okay. 2 bases from the time of the pitch. Any questions on that? Let's move to question 7.
that would be a book rule.
Yes, that's book rule. That's a
'Cause we use that kind of freely, the ground rule stuff, and it's
Right.
not.
right. It's a book rule double, basically.
Wait. So is it what letter was it? C?
A.
A?
Yeah. Please remember, these questions are not in this order when you take your test.
The answers may not be in the order either, right?
No, I
No.
think the answers are in order, but
Okay.
The answer would be
but
the
this may
same.
not, that may not be question 6 in your test. It might be question 51. Who knows? Like I said, they're randomizing them. Okay, question 7 from my thrilling test. The umpire shall immediately remove a player from the game who exhibits the following signs or symptoms of a concussion: dizziness, confusion, headache, loss of consciousness, all of the above.
E.
All of the above.
So the thing about the headache is, if they're showing additional symptoms other than a headache, because, you know, a headache, they may have a headache because they're not pitching well or something. But if there's something, an act that caused the headache,
Right.
then you've got something else to think about.
Question, who makes the final decision?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
We
And
do.
if you're not sure, what is it?
When in doubt, they're out.
Okay. What do you call it when they ask? What do you say to the coach while you're taking them out?
Coach, from my observation, I determined that I suspect that this player is suffering from a concussion. They can no longer play.
Anybody else?
They're exhibiting concussion-like symptoms.
Symptoms. You do not tell anyone they have a concussion. You tell them they have symptoms of a concussion.
Is Dinger the normal?
Yeah. Okay.
IF 20 years ago brought a high-priced attorney from New York to teach us that.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on this? Oh, I have a follow-up question to this. If a girl leaves the game due to a concussion, can she return to that game?
No.
Nope.
No.
My dad's a doctor and he signed a note. Can I
No.
come back?
Oh, well.
California's CIF policy says they cannot return that day.
Coach, her eyes are in separate orbits.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's what they were before.
Yeah, well,
It didn't get worse.
Hold on. You said the player exhibits the symptoms.
Yes.
Then you just said if a player has a concussion.
well, if they
So
leave the game,
clarify that.
if you remove them from the game because they are experiencing concussion-like symptoms, okay, CIF says they cannot return.
Okay.
Does anybody on this phone call a doctor?
No,
Not a medical
but I'm just
doctor.
making,
Oh,
I'm just
say
making
someone has
sure
a
is,
concussion.
is what's the protocol? Who do we notify?
We don't have to notify anybody. That's
Oh,
their
no one.
That's their responsibility. But the coaches, I think there's enough ex-coaches on this call that I don't know of anyone who's put a girl's health in danger over a high school softball game.
Jesse, do you think it's appropriate also that if the AD from the home school is there, that they're made aware, you know,
Yeah.
one-on-one with them?
Well, you should, if you have a girl removed because of concussion symptoms, you should tell the scorebook. They should write that down in the scorebook that, hey, number 12 has been removed for concussion symptoms. Okay. So that it's in writing and not just in yours. And it wouldn't be a bad thing for you maybe after the game to send an email to the AD of that school and say, hey, we had to remove number 19 because she was experiencing concussion-like symptoms. Okay. You don't have to do that. You're not required to do that. But if you think the coach is a moron and he's going to try to play her the next day, then you might want to go to the AD, especially on a
Come
road
on.
team.
Jesse, we had a moron that wanted to play their catcher on the same day.
Yeah, well, I know exactly who you're talking about. I've seen
Be
it.
amazed at the names that I could tell you that tried to play have had serious symptoms and still tried to do it. You'd be amazed at some of the names I could give you.
I mean, it's funny, especially in girls athletics, the coaches are a lot more invested in the outcome of the game than the players. Okay. They're more, gotta win. The girls are like, I'm hanging out with my friends, they don't care. And so it's the player. Yeah. Every now and then you're going to get that player's like, oh no, I'm okay. Cause I had Oaks one year and the catcher, I forget what the play was. And like an inning later, she's behind the plate and she said something to me. And I think the next pitch we got it out of the inning, and I walked over to the assistant coach and I'm like, you need to check her for concussion. And she didn't play for 2 weeks because they looked at her and went, nope, she's out. So, you'll have coaches that are like, oh, she's fine, and coaches that care about their players they're gonna sit her for her protection. When I was coaching, I'd always tell my players, I'd rather lose you for half a game, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, than lose you for the rest of your playing career. This game's not that important that you need to put your health at risk. So, okay, moving on to question 9. Where is it permissible to obtain information from that is reviewed in the dugout for coaching purposes during the game?
A and B.
Only one answer.
Well, A and B is a correct answer. That would be letter E.
Yes.
And now I'm going to look at my email because
That's
this
what he
was one
said.
of the questions that came up today. So the rule reference for this question is 186. Okay. And according to the state rules interpreter, cameras are not allowed to be mounted on a catcher's helmet. Okay. So,
Wait, that's for CIF?
yes.
I thought I read that they were allowed to have cameras on their helmet.
Well, let's see. What did I do? Rule book 186. Other equipment. Other equipment, Section 8, Rule 1, Article 6. During the game, the use of electronic devices by team personnel to transmit or record information pertaining to their players or team's performance shall be permitted for coaching purposes within the team's dugout bench area only, provided that the point of origin of the electronic communication is outside of the field of play. Exception, a coach may use an electronic device for one-way communication from the dugout to the catcher while the team is on defense. So the communication has to come from outside the field of play. So a catcher with a camera on her helmet would not be legal. Okay. Any questions on that? Moving to question 10. With 1 out, runner on third base and R2 on first base, B4 hits an over-the-fence home run. R2 misses third base, and the third base coach grabs R2 and pulls the runner back to third base. What is your proper ruling? Somebody want to give me an answer? Let you guys read it and see what you come up with.
Do you want us just to say?
Yeah, do you have one?
A.
Okay, we have an A. Anyone have a different answer other than A? Anybody have a different answer?
That's A.
Yeah, it's A.
I got one B, but I think it was a pity B or D. So it is A.
Yeah.
Okay. So the runner that's physically assisted is out. Okay, that's only the second out of the inning. Okay. 1 in 4 can still score. Okay. Question 11. In the first inning, the umpire notices that the pitcher has a glove with an optic marking in the inside of the glove that gives the appearance of the ball. A, the pitcher shall be restricted to the bench for using illegal equipment.
Love to make it look like a ball is in it.
The pitcher will be allowed to finish the inning before replacing the glove. C, the pitcher can switch the glove with a teammate already playing defense. Or D, the glove shall be replaced immediately, or it may be used if the optic marking is modified to no longer give the appearance of the ball.
D.
They're good.
D.
They're good.
Okay. They either have to take it off, or if they can put something over it so that it's not, doesn't have that optics and it doesn't make the glove illegal. That's all they have to do.
Jesse, is your screen maximized?
It is, but it's, the problem is these were screen grabs.
Ah,
And I
okay.
couldn't really get them any bigger than this. I apologize. I tried to get them as big as I possibly could, but that's why you have all the crap down on the bottom and the top. And unfortunately, this was very hastily thrown together in about
That's okay.
45 minutes to try to get this up so you guys could at least visually see the questions instead of me just reading them to you. Okay, moving on. Any questions here on number 11? Going to number 12. R1 is caught in a rundown between third base and home plate. As R1 is attempting to return to third base, R1 is obstructed by F5 and subsequently tagged while off the base by F6. The correct call is... Who wants to take a stab at this one? Don't everyone jump up at once.
B as in boy.
I have a hard time reading it.
Okay. So we have some B's. Anybody else have a different thought?
See if I can get this closer.
It'd be
Yeah, I'll take B.
B for 500.
Yeah.
So A, we know A is wrong. Why?
Because it's not a dead ball.
Not an immediate dead ball. Okay. Why would C not be correct?
Because they would only get that they would have made home if they had not been obstructed. They were heading back to third base, got tagged at third.
Right. So they were obstructed going back to third. So home's pretty much not on the table. And there's a couple people in this call that can tell me why D is not the right answer. Dan, Mario.
Oh, personal experience.
No, there's that is a correct
Oh,
answer in another
because-
code.
because this is not NCAA.
Correct. That
However, because obstruction occurred while making a play, a warning would not be issued anyways.
well, she was obstructed by the third baseman and tagged out by the shortstop. So the third baseman wasn't making a play, the shortstop made a play.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But in college, you would issue a warning on an obstruction play. And if they do it a second time, you get to toss the player.
Wow.
So,
We don't have that in high school. So
are they still out? I mean,
No.
is the runner still safe though on
yeah,
the
the runner's
obstruction?
still
They-
safe
they-
on the obstruction.
all right,
But
you
you
get
can,
the warnings
The
on
runner
top.
would be given a one base.
if it's a secondary infraction, there's an
Yes.
additional penalty and the runner gets a base. So
the runner
Let's have some
gets,
fun stuff.
Jesse, the runner gets a base or gets the
Well,
base where
in-
she was.
In high school,
I think he's big.
you
single.
award the base you think they would have reached had they not been obstructed.
Good.
Okay. So they can't be put out between the two bases they were when they were obstructed, but it does not always necessarily mean that they get the further base You have someone who's obstructed between second and third. You don't have to put them at third. You can say, no, I'm putting them at her second, coach, because in my judgment, she would not have made it to third.
Yep, there are a few exceptions.
Okay. Going on to question 13. Which of the following would be an illegal pitch? Okay, now, before we read the answers to this question, there are some interesting answers here. Okay. But we want to look at rule 612B.
Huh?
See,
Okay, do we have any? Does anyone have a guess on what the correct answer on this question is?
I think somebody else said C, but I agree with that.
I said
I
C.
think that's C, but I can't figure out what they're getting at in D.
They're
just
talking
putting their
about
hands
somebody
together
who's,
apart while they're standing behind the
Oh,
plate, not
They're,
touching
they're
it. and if you
behind
put
the
your hands
plate.
here,
They bring their hands
put them
together. I
apart.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's nothing.
So that's nothing. That's nothing. Okay.
right. That's a MacGuffin.
So technically, if you read the rule book, B is an illegal pitch because how many forward steps are you allowed to take? How many forward
One.
steps can a pitcher take?
Uno.
Uno. Okay. But because of the way they paraphrased that statement, I'll give you a hint. That's not the correct answer.
But it says no more than one.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, it's not the correct answer.
correct.
It's not the correct answer.
Yeah. So, and it C is probably the biggest illegal pitch we see all year.
Right.
Is with the hands. Either they come on with the hands together, or they separate them and then bring them back together. Okay. Second to. Okay. Question 14. Here's a dumb question. If you've umpired ever before in the past, this one should be self-evident.
A.
What certification has to be on the bat?
Okay.
A. 2000, 2004 USA all games. Moving to 15. Which of the following is true when a non-adult is warming up a pitcher?
C.
D, none of the above?
C.
C.
Cat.
C.
C. Charlie.
C.
Yeah.
Okay. C is correct. They have to have on a catcher's mask. Okay. They
With a
cannot wear a
throat
helmet.
protector.
They cannot wear a batting helmet. They can't wear a fielding mask. It must be an actual catcher's mask, either with the built-in extension or the dangling extension. Okay. But it has to be a NOXI approved catcher's mask.
That built-in one was referring to like the hockey style.
Right. The hockey style mask, that long, the longer chin. Okay. Moving to 16. Which of the
I
following
can smell.
statements?
I smell that wax.
Which of the following statements is legal in regards to the use of one-way communication? Remember, this is a new rule this year.
I think it's B, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going with D.
How many players are allowed to receive communication in high school softball?
Everybody,
No,
one way,
only the catcher,
because they can wear a smartwatch, everybody.
right? But they cannot use those for communication unless they are the catcher. The high school rule states only the catcher can receive electronic communications.
If we suspect that, is it a warning?
Yeah, you can make them take it off if you think they're getting communications on their smartwatches. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Any questions on 16 before we move on?
So is B?
B is the correct answer because only the catcher can receive it. And now she doesn't have to have a smartwatch. She can have the earpiece and the coach can talk to her, but it's got to be one way. She can't talk back. And you can usually know if they can talk back, that they can't talk back when she goes, "What an idiot," after he calls a pitch, because you know you can't hear it. Okay, we have a video question here. Okay, my suggestion to you when you come across a video question, read the answers before you watch the video. Okay. Anyone know why I suggest that?
So you can know exactly what's going on.
Well, you're going to understand what they're looking for, right? What are you supposed to be seeing in this video? Okay. So it's obviously an interference or obstruction question because those are the answers, right? Okay. And this is question 17. So give me a second. I'm going to bring up question 17 here. Download question 17. Open it, movie and TV should be, or I guess media player would be the one to go with. Get full screen here. Everybody see what happened?
Yeah,
So I play it again.
sure.
Yeah.
What happened after the throw was missed at second base?
Obstruction.
Shortstop.
F6.
Okay. The shortstop got in the way of the runner going from second to third. Okay. So I'm guessing someone might be able to tell me which answer that would be.
C.
See, there we go. See, senor. Okay. Question 18.
Can you smell the wax?
Oh, that's fine. I was more like, is it
Yeah,
white?
that's fine. That's fine.
Toby, mute yourself.
Sorry.
So the answer was B?
Early.
C.
C?
C on the previous one, yes. Okay, it is a legal pitch if. Anyone want to take a stab at this one?
D.
Dan Bernard says D.
Yeah, D. Dog.
If it's legal, I think A is legal.
Right, well,
So is B and so is C. Ergo.
Oh, all of the above.
okay. So it's a legal pitch if, and if you can answer each one that yes, this is a legal pitch, then D is the correct answer. Okay. Like I said, most of these questions aren't very difficult if you stop and read the question. Okay, question 19. The game begins with. Anyone have a guess? When does the game start?
Play ball.
Anyone disagree with Brian?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Moving on to 20 then. 20. All the following are true statements regarding the designated player, DP, except. So which one of these statements is not true about the DP?
See,
C.
just
B.
kidding.
Who said A? Nobody's going to own up to saying A? Okay, so C, the DP.
I hope not.
The DP may play defense for the flex only, right? DP can play for anybody. Okay. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Team B has runners on second base and third base with one out, and B4 coming up to the plate. Team A's coach can. What are Team A's coach's legal options here?
They can do E.
Yeah, E.
E.
Yeah,
Okay.
E.
E is what I have, yeah.
Anyone disagree with E? Okay, so E is both A and C. Okay, so you can, coach can come out and say, put her on. Okay, or they can throw 4 legal pitches outside the strike zone to B4. Why they want to make their pitcher throw 4 pitches for no reason, I can't understand that, but why can they not do B?
It's an illegal pitch
Yeah.
to keep the batter from hitting the ball.
Correct. Chris Knapp is coming in. Okay,
Don't let
moving
him
on to
in.
question 22. Okay, which of the following locations can a pitcher wear a wristband playbook play card?
Non-pitching arm.
B.
Okay. On pitching arm, okay. Why can't they wear it on their belt?
Not allowed by the rules.
Not an option.
Okay, but why is it not allowed by the rule?
Because NFHS said so.
Because it's
Well,
not worn in the
my
proper.
reason, my
it's not
reason
worn
is it can get
properly.
hit by the pitch.
Okay, well, it basically comes down to you're not using it the way the manufacturer intended it to be used.
We could also say that it might be distracting because of reflecting sunlight or.
Yep.
But
But basically NFHS puts that under, it's not being used in the manner which the manufacturer intended it. It's intended to be a wristband. Having it on your belt is not using it.
In the medical field, they call that not following the IFU.
Yep. Okay, moving on to 23. There are 2 outs, and R1 is on second base. B4 strikes out, but F2 drops the ball. B4 is able to reach first base while F2 chases down the ball. F2 then overthrows third base as R1 is advancing and the ball bounces over the fence into foul territory. What is the correct procedure for advancement on the runners?
Wasn't it 1 base? 2 bases?
Who's got an idea for which award is correct?
The 2 base?
Okay, 2 bases from when?
The time of the throw.
Time of the throw. So where are our runners at the time of the throw?
R1, let's see. So yeah, the big one's B4. He's reached first base, or she's reached first base. So she'd be awarded third.
Okay. And where is R1 at the time of the throw? Not that it matters.
Well,
He
she was on
started at
second
second,
base
so
when
he's
she
going to be
started,
home.
so it
She's
doesn't
gonna be
matter.
home.
Right. So
Yeah.
because B4 had already reached first base prior to the release of the throw, she's going to get 2 bases from the time of the throw. And I guarantee you the defensive coach is going to come blasting out of the dugout screaming at you on this. But you are correct. Okay. And
You could when you're awarding bases, explain why you're doing that to keep them in the dugout.
You can. So, but
I have. It didn't work.
but just, when the coach comes out, no, coach, she had already reached first base, and it's at the time of the throw, and it's 2 bases from the time of the throw. So, but if that had happened, if, let's say, in that situation you have runner on second base, batter swings and misses a third pitch, and the pitch goes out of play, what's your ruling?
Hit ball.
First and third.
You'd have first and third because it's 1 base at the time of the pitch. So, because neither batter had gone past the base they were at, home second, at the time of the pitch, you're going to give the batter first base and the runner third base. And that coach is probably going to come out and scream. So,
Yeah.
okay, moving on.
What is it? B or C?
I go backwards.
That's the-
So that was 24.
20,
It was
23.
home and third, JJ.
Home and third. Okay, thank you.
Okay, question 24. Once the third out is made by the defense, the teams are given 1 minute between innings to prepare for the new half inning. Once the allowed 1 minute has expired, which of the following is true? Anybody have an idea?
D.
Okay, Chris says D. Anybody else have an opinion?
Yeah, I think that's correct. D.
Okay,
yep.
Well,
Jay?
Uh,
What's up, Dan? What do you got?
well, it says once the allowed 1 minute has expired. Okay,
Okay,
right? So we know when that is. I
Okay.
don't know that the pitcher has the ball. So I'm not necessarily going to say the batter has 10 seconds yet. Once that 60 seconds is up.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to nitpick,
but
But
by
what-
rule,
once the pitcher has the ball.
right? But once that 60 seconds has expired, hypothetically, the pitcher has the ball.
Well,
We're going to assume the pitcher has
okay.
the ball at that point.
That's the caveat.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, my God, man, you're arguing real life. This is a test.
well, I mean, I'm just trying to. I don't know that it's not meant to be a trick question or anything, but I'm
Right.
just saying that.
But
know.
those are the 3 things that can occur. If you say, okay, let's play, and the batter's
Well-
dawdling, okay, we've
Well,
had
that's
10
the key.
seconds, batter, you're not in the box. I have delay. I have a strike on the batter. Or, the defensive team's throwing the ball around for no reason. And you're like, no, hey, you know what? We told you your time was up. We have a delay. I've got a ball on the batter.
And, and also we want to remember the intent of that rule while we're doing that.
Right. Yeah. Don't sit there and be, it's a minute. You got a strike and you got a ball. No, it's to, if your game has a flow, and they're going a minute 2, minute 3. Okay. Who cares?
Yeah. I
Don't be the guy that's out there who's like, you get 1 minute, you might have a catcher that was the last hitter. You might need to give her a little grace, because do you really want to piss her off when she's your only protection?
That's a good point.
So, you don't want to penalize a team because, maybe they're a little dysfunctional in the second inning and it took them a minute 5 to get out. If you say, okay, let's play ball, and they're dawdling and they're in no rush to take the field. Yeah. Okay. We're at a minute 20, minute 30. I've got a delay. Okay. But
If we're talking only a couple, 15, 20 seconds on this, there should be a warning before we're going to go straight to this.
Yeah.
Now, if we're a minute 40 or what, if we're way past it, that's a different story. But if If we're just a few seconds past it, we need to warn them before we hit them with a penalty.
Any questions?
So are we supposed to start wearing a watch out there now?
Well, technically you can't wear a watch. But
A timer.
your base umpire could have a stopwatch on him. If you're working a JV game and you want to invest $90 in a RefSmart, and set it to baseball, softball settings, you could do that. Or you can figure out how long a minute is in your head and
that
by
should be
that.
relatively easy. I mean, we're doing the games all the time. Your internal clock is telling you where you're at.
Yeah, you can usually tell when it's taken a team too long to get back out on the field.
Yeah.
Or a batter's taking too much time to get in the box when you say let's go. So it doesn't have to be exact, as long as you're consistent. I've learned over the summer that if I'm the base umpire, by the time I move to where the pitcher's plate is to dust it off between innings, if I call time on when I'm at the pitcher's plate, by the time I walk to the side and get ready to grab a drink of water, I'm at 30 seconds. So, I'm yelling 30 seconds, I'm taking my drink of water, and then I'm moseying back to my starting position. And guess what? About the time I get there, it's a minute.
We're supposed to know the exact time of sunset also, correct?
You should, yes. At the first month of the season, yeah. Until
Okay.
daylight savings hits, yes. Because you're going to want to know when, hey,
The cutoff time, yeah.
coach, it's 2 minutes to sunset, and we're starting the seventh inning. We're not going to finish this inning.
Mhm.
Do you want to play till I call it for sunset, or do you want to call it a day now? Do you really want to make your pitcher go out and face hitters for 2 minutes, or, by the time they finish warming up, I'm going to say ball game.
Don't ever give them that option. If you're that close,
Yeah.
end it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Nothing good can happen from
Any,
having to go out there for 10 minutes when you have to get 6 outs.
yep. Any questions on 24? Here we go. Moving on. A fair batted ball is a ball that. Who's got an answer for me on this one?
Not just first base.
Okay. What else?
D.
D.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it's settled or touched over fair territory between home and first. It touches first base. Offensive player interferes with a defensive player attempting to field a batted ball while the ball's over fair territory. All of the above. Oops. Okay, that was that one. 26. Which action is not legal for a courtesy runner?
D. D.
D. What is the one restriction on a courtesy runner? They cannot be a substitute in the same half inning that they courtesy ran. Okay.
Those are words out of the book, so use that when the coach comes out.
Now, what's the one of the two other restrictions? We won't say that they can only run for the pitcher or catcher, but what's the other restriction on a courtesy runner?
Never what?
Never
They could not. They can't. If they've already participated in the game, they cannot be a courtesy runner.
Very good.
Okay. Well, what else? What if they're a legal courtesy runner? What's the other thing that a courtesy runner cannot do?
They're only allowed to courtesy run on one player, right?
Well, for one position.
One
If
position.
they ran
yes.
for the catcher, they cannot run for the pitcher.
Yes.
Okay.
One position.
Right. So one position, not the person, because you can change the pitcher. Courtesy runner still eligible. Okay. But
That's in the same half inning.
no, that's anytime during the game. Once
Yep.
they run for the catcher, they can only run for the catcher.
for the catcher.
Once they run for the pitcher, they can only run for the pitcher. They cannot run for both the pitcher and the catcher at different times during the game.
And that's something your lineup card should reflect in case you can't continue your plate game.
Yep. Or your scorecard, but there should be something on there that denotes what runner ran for the catcher, what runner ran for the pitcher. Okay. Any questions on that? Moving on. Oh, we have another video. Once again, read the questions. Or read the answers before you watch the video. Everybody read the question or read the answers?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to switch to the video now. This is question 27.
It's 27.
Should be this video. Watch it again. Nice cut there. Okay. Going back to our answer. Oops.
Wow,
Leave it
that's
like that.
perfect.
How do I go back?
I'll leave it right there. That's perfect. I can
Yeah,
read it.
leave it like
No,
that.
that's not the same question, unfortunately. That's the next
Ah.
question. Okay.
Mm.
Who has a choice here?
D.
Who
The
said
last
D?
answer.
I have the dog.
Ryan, Toby, was that you with a D?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, everybody understands that? Whether
Yeah.
or not the runner's safe anyway, we still have to make the call. Okay? We still stick our arm out. We still say,
Obstruction.
obstruction. And I can't tell if it's a shadow because I'm looking at the little tiny picture here, if that's a shadow of the coach or the umpire's arm is out. But it looks like
Yeah, it looks like it's out.
the U1 is out, but
Yeah.
the
Shadow from third.
but the umpire that's up by third, I think it's just an optical illusion because it's a shadow from the coach at third base. But as to who called it, but the U1 who rotated to home plate there, this is a 3-man. He obviously has it out because you can see it in his. Well, it's kind of hard to tell. He might just be calling safe there.
He's calling safe, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can look at his shadow. It looks like a
Like
arrowhead.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to question 28. Once again, we have another video. So go ahead and read your answers. As soon as someone tells me it's okay, I'm going to jump to the video.
Okay.
Okay, Junior's ready, so that means everybody else must be ready. And this is question 28. This one has a replay built into it. As you can
Ooh. Here's better angle.
Safe.
Out.
Out.
No, but the ball's in the glove.
Do we need to watch it again?
No,
It
she
matters.
I think I need to see it
Doesn't
again.
matter.
I thought she touched the
Doesn't
bat
matter.
with her hand.
Be safe.
There we go.
No, the
He's
ball's
out.
in your shoe.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's on your shoe.
It's
Here
a
comes
force.
the replay with the other.
She's
Okay.
Yeah,
out.
she touches with her hand.
Okay.
It's
He's
a
out.
force
With her
out.
hand.
Touches with her throwing arm, not with the ball in the glove.
Not with
She's
the ball.
safe.
Okay.
She's out.
Be
Your foot doesn't
safe.
touch. your foot doesn't hold the ball when you touch on it and it's your glove. So just like Brian said, that's an out.
Okay, so which
It's a
which
force
is
out.
which answer
B.
is correct?
B, because it's the only one that says she's out.
Okay, correct. So
Correct. B.
if the player's standing up and they catch the ball in their glove and their foot's on the base, right? That's a legal out, correct? It's a
Oh.
force out. It's not a tag. Now a tag,
Right, you're right.
tagged
It's not a
her
tag.
with the bare
Yeah.
hand and had the ball in the glove, that then we have nothing. But a force out, any part of the body can touch the base and we get credit for the out.
Okay.
So take this a little bit more, and we don't want to make this mistake. You can't touch with your bare hand and tag a runner out with a ball in your
Right.
mitt.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But that's not the case here because it's a force out.
That's right.
Right.
But I've had that as a play where the fielder was actually holding the ball in her hand and she tagged the player with their glove, right? Because it's natural to tag with the glove, and she tagged with the glove, but the ball was still in her right hand.
Right. So that's
a safe.
That's a safe, but because a tag, you have to apply the tag
With the ball.
with the ball on the runner, whereas a force out, if as long as you have control of the ball and you touch the base, does not matter what, you could do a headstand on it. I don't know why you'd want to, but you could, and that would be legal. Okay, moving on to 29. We're on the downhill side here. R1 on third base, R2 on second base, and 1 out. B4 hits a deep fly ball to F9 that is caught. R1 leaves the base before F9 first touches the ball, but R2 legally tags. Both R1 and R2 score as F9's throw is off target. Before the next pitch, the opposing team appeals that R1 left early. What is the correct ruling?
A.
Okay.
No, it's not
We
the
have
third
an A.
out. It's
We have
not,
an A.
oh, it's a catch. That
It's
is
a
3 out.
second out.
Okay, we have an A. Anyone feel something different?
Oh, it's caught. Okay, it's
Yeah,
caught.
it's 3 outs.
D,
C.
Yeah, there's no run there.
got them all. A, B,
Okay,
C,
so we
D.
have an A and a C.
It's a C.
Sure.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Oh, that's a
D.
It's got to be dog.
yeah. R1's third out of the inning.
Yeah, no runs.
Okay. So somebody read D.
Can you enlarge it?
Now,
Zoom it.
R1 is declared out for the third out of the inning. Since the third out was an appeal of the lead runner, neither run scores.
okay.
There was 1 out. The catch made it 2. The appeal made it 3.
Okay, but can anyone tell me why the second run doesn't score?
Because it was behind it was R2 is behind the first runner, R1.
Right. So if a runner is called out on appeal, a trailing runner cannot score if that runner is out. And that's the third out of the inning.
Right.
Now,
Okay,
if it's an
runner
appeal, if it was done, because this is, I think, a live ball before the next pitch.
If it was R2 they were appealing, then R1 would.
Right, then R1 would score.
Yeah.
Okay, because now it's a timing play. Okay, but because R1 was in front of R2, they can't score if R1 is out in front of them, and that's the third out. Okay, question 30. I shouldn't even need to read this. You guys should be able to read it and answer it.
Everything's legal.
Everything's legal. What's the jewelry rule in high school softball?
Yeah, man.
If it's distracting.
Well, if you think it poses a danger,
Safety issue.
a safety issue, a girl comes out there with 4-inch hoops on, you're probably going to ask her to take those off. She's got a hoop that's tight up against her ear. Probably not gonna bug her. Okay. She's wearing a necklace. She's wearing a bracelet. We don't care anymore. Okay. Going on to 31. Umpire jurisdiction begins.
Hey,
Okay. Anybody else have a different idea? You're working a varsity game and there's 2 umpires. When does it begin?
First one shows up.
Right. So the first one who walks on the field.
though. They got to be
Right.
on the field.
Right. First one who enters the field. 2B is the preferred method when you have 2 umpires on the game. You want them to both walk on the field at the same time. But obviously things can happen. And obviously in a JV game, you're never going to see 2 umpires. Except for the championship game of the Royal Tournament, maybe. But other than that,
So that's why it's a good idea to stay in contact with your partner. You know, if they're running late, let them know, hey, I'm going to take the field. We're gonna get these things started while you're dressing.
okay. Moving on to 32. A strike is charged to the batter when?
I'll give up.
All the above.
All the above. Anybody have any questions on that? Nobody disagrees. Moving on to 33.
Hey, Chaz, can you zoom it, please?
I can't. That's as big as it gets. JJ, sorry.
Okay. I can't
Yeah.
see shit. I'm sorry.
Me either.
This is what happens when I have to throw some together in 30 minutes. So
Okay,
you guys can
thank you.
actually see what's on the test instead of me guessing what's on the test.
Yes, sir.
Okay, question 33. An on-deck batter may warm up with no more
No more than 2 bats.
than 2 bats.
No more than
2.
12 bats. Huh?
2B, Bravo, Baker.
Okay, anyone have a different thought?
Why does it matter?
Because
2
of the
bats and
safety
a
issue.
donut.
Okay, 2 is correct. But what I find interesting is a little girl swing 2 bats, but you can't put a sleeve or a donut on it. Okay, question 34. R1 is on first base with 1 out. B3 hits a ground ball to F4 and the batted ball hits R1 prior to F4 fielding the ball. What is the correct ruling? I will tell you this is a rule change this year.
Oh, is it?
This is the second rule change for this year. The first being the allowing of one-way communication.
No, I only know the old rules, so.
You know the old rule.
Yeah, I know the old rule.
Okay, which was?
R1 is out and B3 is awarded first base.
Okay. So now is it a hit or a fielder's choice now?
Fielder's choice.
I don't know.
Fielder's choice.
So the old rule was they got credit for a hit. The new rule
Wow.
is they get credited with a fielder's choice because there was an out made on the play, which is what the definition of a fielder's choice is. So that it's a scoring change. It's not a rule change. It's a scoring rule change, I should say. Okay.
The
Any
scoring,
questions
yeah,
on-
it's a scoring change. That's the point. It's the same rule. It's just a scoring change.
Yep. Any questions on that? Moving on to 35.
What's the answer?
The
B.
batter's awarded a fielder's choice, the runner's out.
B.
B is in Bravo.
Which
Thank you, sir.
statement about a catch is correct?
D.
D. Anybody have a different answer?
Nope.
Okay. Does everyone understand question or B? If the ball strikes anything or anyone other than a defensive player while it's in flight, it shall be ruled a ground ball and not a catch. Okay? So it can't bounce off the fence and them catch it, or they can't.
Hit the screen on top.
Yep. Okay. Moving on to 36, down inside our last 20. R1 is on second base. The batter has a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitcher pitches a ball not in the batter's box, and the batter intentionally strikes the ball with their elbow. What is your call?
Dead ball.
C.
Okay. Chris Wildermuth, I know this is one of your favorite calls.
God, I love this one. So does the Camarillo coach. They really both appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a dead ball. The batter's gonna stay there. We're gonna add a ball to the count and move on. Okay, moving on. Ooh, we have another video. Go ahead and read the answers. Speaking of hit by pitch.
Can't read the answers.
A, if the ball is completely within the batter's box and it contacts the batter, it's a dead ball and the batter is awarded first base. No attempt to avoid being hit is required. B, if the batter makes an obvious attempt to get hit by the pitch, the batter's not awarded first base. C, if the ball is not entirely in the batter's box, the batter must make an attempt to avoid being hit to be awarded first, unless it's ball 4. Or D, all of the above. Okay. We're going to go to
Video.
question 37.
It's a hitter?
We'll play it again. Unfortunately, the second one kind of cuts off.
Yeah, she looks like she was
It
on
does
that
make
box.
contact with her. The question is which one of these answers is correct?
A.
Well, it's kind of weird because it's not which is true about the following video.
Yeah.
Not because all of them are correct. All of them
Okay.
are true, but that's not the correct answer.
Well,
Right.
actually, because you can't really tell whether or not it hit her. Okay.
Or if it's completely in the batter's box. So it's C.
No.
Don't you think so?
I would have said C because it didn't look to me like it's completely in the batter's box.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like she also like scooted forward.
Now
She
she
sort
leans
of-
back. She leans
Well,
back.
But I wouldn't.
She leans back,
I wouldn't
but her
say
knee
she made an
goes
obvious
forward.
attempt. I wouldn't say she made an obvious attempt
It
to
looks
get
like
hit.
she stood up.
A. I got A.
In
got
my
A?
judgment, it is C.
Okay. In everyone's judgment, you are wrong. The answer is D, all of the above.
Really? Well, let's go through them.
Okay, so on a hit by pitch, if the ball's completely within the batter's box and it contacts batter, it's a dead ball and the batter's awarded first base. No attempt to avoid being hit is required.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's true.
That is true.
Okay.
Just
If the batter makes an obvious attempt to get hit by the pitch, the batter is not awarded first base.
Yes.
Also true.
Okay. If the ball is not entirely in the batter's box, the batter must make an attempt to avoid being hit to be awarded first base unless it's ball 4.
Because
Unless-
she might be
Also
preventing
true.
the ball from entering the strike zone, right? That's
Okay,
what that would be.
we're not, the ball's not a strike. Okay, let's not worry about the ball being a strike.
Right.
Okay, but if it's close enough to her, okay, but it's not completely in the batter's box, but it's a ball. Okay, she has to try to get out of the way. She can't just stand there and take it.
Yes.
Okay, she has to. Otherwise, it's gonna be a dead ball. We've had that before. So all of these statements are correct, are they not?
Yeah, but not for that video.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Well,
I
it can't. It's
agree.
either got to be the ball has to be somewhere. It has to be in the box or out of the box.
Okay, and whose
Can't be
judgment
bu-
is that?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay, but the question is basically watching this.
But they're all true. Yes.
These are your criteria that you're judging this video on.
I want to ask if this yours,
Okay.
if you want to save it. Smells like bacon
Okay,
grease.
so all
I
of the
don't want to
above.
say that. I've been keeping it.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm in the
Here we go. Moving on.
Can I have some of that cook?
The TP may be substituted for at any time by.
Toby.
Yeah.
What are the correct answers?
D.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
A and B.
Okay. So C, obviously we know somebody else in the lineup can't take over for the DP in the fourth spot if they were in the third spot or what have you. Okay. Like I said, once again, most of these questions pretty simple. 39. Team A's school colors are purple and gold. What color ribbons may the players wear?
C.
Who said C?
Brian.
Ryan? Okay. Anyone think there's a different answer?
C.
Okay.
C.
See, we don't give a damn what color ribbons they wear. They can wear whatever they want. Question 40. After an initial warning to the head coach, any subsequent change to the lineup card for an inaccuracy will result in.
A.
Okay.
B. I checked it.
Okay. Anybody have a different answer? Okay. They are
A.
restricted to the dugout for the remainder of the game. Okay. It's a stupid coaching mistake, so that's their penalty. We don't want to eject them because maybe the team has to forfeit if they have no other adult.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
And
the player's fault the coach screwed up.
Right. We're never going to penalize a player for a coach being an idiot. Okay. Here we go. Number 41. Which of the following shall be labeled on all softballs?
C.
D, both core and compression. Okay. And hopefully an NFHS logo. Otherwise, we're not using that ball, right?
Ugh.
Okay. Thanks
Yep.
for the yawn, Jose. Question 42.
Jesse, since we're on softballs right now,
Yeah.
just give us a real rundown what we were dealing with last year with the manufactured balls, the rolling
Okay.
ball.
So there was a change to the ball. So according to CIF, when I went to the rules interpretation meeting the other night, if it has the NFHS logo on the ball, they can play with it. Okay. Whether it has the new logo, the old logo. So the new logo, it's NFHS with like a torch. It almost kind of looks more like the trying to think of what ball. It's a block letter and has like the NFHS logo alongside. Before it had the little torch. But if it's got an NFHS stamp on it, play with the ball. There are some new core and compression requirements for it, but according to CIF, if it's last year's ball and it's still good, play it.
Should the balls also that are in play match?
Yes. Yeah. You shouldn't have 3 different softballs in there. You should have all game balls should be the same ball.
This for high school.
This is for high school.
Yeah.
Now, I'll guarantee you get some small school like Ivy Academy in the Valley. You're probably going to be lucky that they actually have a softball that's yellow and has an NFHS logo on it. Okay. But what happens if we do not have a ball with an NFHS logo?
Go to your car and get yours.
If you have one.
Yep.
Okay. But if neither team has them, and you don't happen to have any in your car, we're not playing that game.
Oh, for real?
For real. Anyone know why?
Safety?
Well, that's part of it.
Money?
No.
NFHS
Well, in a way, yes, it is money, because what if, let's say that ball has got a higher core compression than an NFHS ball, and some girl rips a ball down the third base line and the third baseman wears it in the face.
That could be a problem. That ball's too hot.
Yep. And guess who's getting sued because you allowed them to play with that incorrect softball?
You.
Yep.
No, my partner.
Yep. You and your partner, if there's two of you. If you're JV game, it's just you. Okay.
You're on an island.
it's you know, you don't want to put yourself in a liability situation. Okay. So you're going to apologize to the coach and say, hey, you can send someone, I'll wait. You can send someone down to Dick's or Big Five and go buy some NFHS softballs. I think if you can find the Rawlings ball, they have both sorts on them. So, but yeah, that's just liability protection there. Okay, moving on to 43. Bases loaded and less than 2 outs. F4 is using ordinary effort to catch a pop-up. The correct call is...
Okay.
Okay, Brian's got an A. Anybody want anything different?
Nope, like the Fonz. Hey.
I kind of like D. I want to get that out on a foul ball, but yeah, A is A is our option, right? Infield fly if fair. If it remains fair, we got to out. Okay, moving on to 44. During the act of pitching, which movement is not legal?
C.
Brian saw the magic word.
Yeah, replants.
Okay. Right? She drags her foot, that's legal. Pitcher backs off the pitching plate with both hands together. And when she's off, separates, that's legal. While the pitcher is pushing off from the plate, both feet disengage, leaping is legal. Replant is never legal. Any questions on that? Okay, we're down to the last 11. B1 bunts the ball in front of home plate. As B1 is running to first base, B1 is hit with the throw from F2. Which of the following is used to determine if the runner is out for interference?
A.
Okay, we have an A. Anyone else have a thought? Nobody likes C?
That's kind of like A, but it's not C.
Okay. A is correct, right? We determine that she's out of the lane by her last foot contact. If either foot last contacted the ball outside or contacted the ground outside the 3-foot lane. Okay. I mean, obviously, if she's in fair territory, where are her feet?
Outside the running lane.
Outside the running lane. Okay, moving on. 46. In a contest within a state that requires the use of a double first base, a coach indicates that he does not want to play the game with a double first base. Which statement is correct?
I'll leave this up to you guys. You got this.
I know we could- Who, Junior, what'd you have?
A.
No.
Gotta be B. It says it's required.
B.
If it's required, you gotta
If the
use
state
it.
requires it, it's required.
So what's a contest within a state that requires the use of a double base? So if the state requires you to use a double base, when can you not use a double base?
When you're not.
When you're in a state that doesn't require it.
When you move to another state.
It doesn't require it.
Okay. So if the state code says they have to use it, we're not telling a team they're taking it out. Okay.
Yep.
So moving on to 47.
So what is the answer? B?
The one that
Bravo.
says you must use it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it was required.
Yeah. Which of the following statement is correct? This has to do with pitchers.
C.
Yeah, I think C.
Okay.
Yeah, see.
We have a couple C's. No one wants to let him pitch from 40 feet?
No.
No. No one wants to let the pitcher request a different ball every time they feel like it?
So just mentioning that, go for the correct answer, then I'll go on.
Okay. So the correct answer is C, because is rock rosin allowed?
Nope.
No. Powder rosin only, and it has to be or an approved drying agent. Rock rosin is not powder rosin. Okay.
It doesn't need to be wiped off.
Doesn't need to be wiped off, but that's another.
Yeah.
That's another question somewhere else in this test.
So we know that a pitcher prefers a certain ball. We're not going to give her both of them to decide. But what I have done, and correct me if it's not the right thing to do, I'll show the catcher the two I have, and she can give the pitcher the one she wants.
Well, hypothetically, if the pitcher goes out there, other than the top of the or bottom of the first inning, when you have two balls and ball B did not get put into the game yet.
Oh, yeah.
If the pitcher goes out there, she can ask for a different ball. And she throws that one in, and then you give her the second choice or whatever you happen to grab out of your bag. That's her option there. Now, I've always felt that it doesn't do me any good to have a pitcher who's not happy with a ball. If she asks me for something at another time, I'll change it. But technically, you're not supposed to. Unless a ball goes out of play, that's the ball she's got to play with. But I look at it this way. I don't want to sit here and watch her throw pitches all over the place because she doesn't like the feel of a ball.
Yeah. And usually we have probably a minimum of 3 balls on us.
Right.
So that's why if one goes out of play, I'm going to show the catcher the 2 I have.
Right, which is
She
fine.
can throw the one she wants.
Yep. So, but once you throw one out there, she can't throw it back and say, no, I want the other one.
Right. We've already made a decision.
Yep.
And that's why I put it on the catcher.
Yep.
We just cut to the chase.
Okay. Moving on to 48. Who can detect a batter who enters the batter's box with an illegal bat or is discovered having used an illegal bat? I like option B.
C.
Yes.
D.
C.
You're right. Okay. Only the umpire or the defense can detect it. Okay. I know all the fans think they should be able to do it, but okay. Moving on to 49. The umpire notices F6 is wearing a smartwatch on the playing field. Which of the following is true?
C.
B. No, I'm sorry. A. They can wear them as long as they don't communicate with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Been so long since I answered this question. A is our winner. Okay. They're allowed as long as they're not used to communicate outside of the dugout on offense or by anyone other than the F2 on defense. Okay. So remember, there is 0 offensive electronic communication, only one player can have it on defense, and she's the young lady sitting right in front of you.
Yep, the catcher.
Okay. Here we go. Moving on to 50. Which statement is incorrect about ruling of interference?
C.
Was that B or D?
I said C
B. Okay.
is incorrect, right?
Yeah, right. What statement is an incorrect ruling of interference?
Yeah.
We have a C. Anybody else have one?
C.
Okay. Okay. C's have it. Nobody else has a differing opinion?
Nope.
Obviously, physical contact is not required for interference. Okay, so we know that's incorrect. Now, one or A is by rule book correct, but may not always be adjudicated that way, because you might have a retired runner who's sliding into second base who takes out the shortstop, and you may give them the completion of the double play at first as compared to calling the runner going from second to third out if it's the third out of the inning and no one's going to care. You know?
So, does a throw have to be made?
No, because if the girl slides and takes the shortstop out,
She's retired and now she's interfering.
right. So
Okay.
if you think that her action resulted in the shortstop not being able to make the play, now the only place where interference requires a throw is on the runner's lane violation. Okay. There has to be a throw, and it has to be coming from behind the runner. So on a bunt or a drop third strike, the catcher comes up, the catcher doesn't throw to first, even though the girl's completely inside fair territory. There's no throw, there's no interference. Okay. Everybody get that?
Right. And umpire's interference, a throw is not required.
Say that again.
Umpire's interference on the catcher, a throw is not required.
You would prefer that they throw and hope they get them out.
True. But it's not required because
No.
she may have been prevented from throwing the ball.
Yeah.
We still have interference.
Yep.
And the runner's going to be safe, so you put her back on first.
Yep. Here we go. Moving on to 51. R1 is standing on third base when the pitcher receives the ball in the circle with feet partially outside the line of the circle. R1 takes 2 steps towards home plate and stops. R1 is
Out.
Out.
out. Okay. The ball's inside the circle. She stepped off the base and stopped. If she takes off running, she's okay. But if she stops, she's out. Moving on to 52. A pitcher touches a towel containing an approved drying agent in the back pocket, then goes directly to the ball. What is the proper ruling?
C.
Okay, we have a C. Anyone have a different answer?
I thought she had to wipe off.
Anything other than a drying agent, approved drying agent.
Well, high school, you don't have to wipe dirt off.
No.
Okay.
But
So-
if you lick your fingers,
Right. An approved drying agent does not have to be wiped off. Okay. I like number 4. There are no agents that can be used in NFH softball, which is technically true because they rely on somebody else's approval list. So,
FBI agent.
well, the drying agent that they use ASA or USA's approved drying agent list, which, oh yeah, it's one item, Gorilla Gold.
Huh?
So
So the correct answer is C.
correct answer is C. Okay, moving on. 53. The head coach will be restricted to the dugout bench for the remainder of the game for a second violation of the following.
D.
Was that D, Brian?
D is in dog.
D is in dog. Anybody have a different answer?
I agree.
Okay, yep. That is the correct answer. All of those items gets them tossed. Okay, one more video question. Go ahead and read your answers.
None of the above.
You might want to see the video first.
So what kind of tip you off when you see that word always.
Yeah.
So let's see that video.
Yeah, there we go. Our last video. This will be question 54. Do you think either umpire in that video saw it?
No.
Here we go. Let's watch it again. Okay, so I'm gonna watch. I want you to watch it a third time, and tell me if the shortstop has any reaction to that runner and running in front of her.
No.
Oh,
No. And she made the play.
Yep.
Not that that matters, but
Well, it does and it doesn't.
yeah.
You know, because what is the definition of interference?
Impedes. Or hinders.
Hinders.
Yeah.
What else?
Impede.
Remember, interference.
Confuses.
Confused.
No contact.
Confuses is in there though, and you
Right,
could argue that she
confused.
confused her, but I wouldn't say she confused her because she made the play.
Right. So you have impede, hinder, confuse for interference, hinder or impede for obstruction.
Yeah, A is the right answer because
Correct.
it says it's a judgment call. It leaves
Right.
it. I think most of us look at that and go, I'm letting that sleeping dog lie. But
Yeah. But what got me was it didn't look like I didn't see a safe call or even that one hand out going, no, it's fine. I don't think either umpire ever saw the play.
R1 called safe.
So
You can also have distraction.
yeah. So okay. Are we ready for the last and final question? Okay. The following are legal apparel except
C.
we have a vote for C. Anybody else have something?
yeah, they don't like camo. C.
Okay. Okay, C is the correct answer because it's camo. Okay. Okay, everyone ready to go score 105 on their test? Okay, so remember,
What's the deadline?
February 3rd.
Second. Okay. Remember, these items in regards to this test, there is a 1 hour, 45-minute time period. Okay. You cannot stop and restart. You got to do it in one sitting. Okay. The questions will not be in the order that we reviewed them tonight. That was my test. Okay. So, and just in case you guys are wondering, I got a 92.7. I missed 4, 2, which I clicked on the wrong answer, and 2, which were the problem questions in the test. So,
Touch screen always gives me up.
So, remember the link is available in the on the instructional calendar under today's date and under February 3rd. Okay, where it says test day opens and test day closes. Test day is now currently open. Okay, I would suggest I will post this PowerPoint up on the website here in a few minutes. If you want to be proactive and download it and maybe go through and answer your questions on paper before you go online, that might not be a bad thing. But once again, make sure you read the questions carefully and read the answers. You will notice that there's one answer that's just way out in left field. What was that question? Okay, like question 3, which was about the player jumping from one side of the plate to the other. We're going to call an illegal pitch on the pitcher. Okay. Does that make any sense at all in that? If the batter did a violation, why would we call a penalty on the pitcher? Right? So there's always going to be one answer that's probably so far out in left field, you're like, yeah, I wish. If I could get that free out, I'd take it. But, you know that that's not correct. And then you're going to have 2 that are probably close, and then one that's probably just as far off in the left field. Or one's going to be in left field, one's going to be in right field, if there's 4 questions. If there's 3, you're going to have one that's way out there, one that's correct, and one, might be correct under certain circumstances type of thing, but probably isn't for this. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do. And I know you've had a really busy week this week. Is there any way that you could tell us on Saturday what the first assignments are for the umpires, at 8 a.m.?
I will send that out tomorrow night. Or no, I'm sorry. I will be sending that out in a few minutes after I have a conversation with someone who tried to back out of games today.
Is that Tobar?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Somebody else. I already have the schedules done. I just don't have them in front of me at this moment. I'm at my laptop and not at my desktop. There were some last minute changes made yesterday because some people had to back out of things, and fortunately his plans fell through and now he's coming. So he's helping us out by taking a set. So some of you are scheduled to work a dual varsity game set. So you'll either have 8 and 9:45 or 11:30 and 1:15. Please note, you're not working full games. Okay. You're going to work half the first game as either the plate umpire or the base umpire. And then you're going to come back in the second game and work half that game in the opposite position that you worked your first game. Now, some of the people who are low on hours also received a JV game so that they could pick up a couple extra hours of instruction. Some people have volunteered to do a second varsity shift to pick up some hours. And I greatly appreciate all those that have stepped in to help. And we have a young lady who's actually a youth umpire who's going to come out and work part of a JV game for us, so that she can get experience at that level. So nobody, unless they volunteered or unless I figured they needed the hours, was assigned more than a varsity set and a JV set, or a couple people have 2 varsity sets because they volunteered to make up some hours. But I think as of right now, other than this one person who contacted me just before the meeting that they need to bag out, I need to figure out what we're doing there. But I should be able to send it out tonight, no later than tomorrow morning, so that everyone will have enough time. If you are scheduled for the 8 and 9:45 slot, I need you there by 7:30. Okay, 7:30 a.m. at Westlake High School. that means you are dressed and ready to go. Okay? If you are on the 11:30, 1:15 slot, 11 o'clock, dressed and ready to go, so I can make sure you guys all understand what's going on and what the rules for the tournament are. These are pretty simple. They're going to be hour 30 drop dead, 5-run max per inning. So if you have a pitcher who's struggling or a team that's just crushing someone, they want to get as many innings in as they can. So it should be, boom, 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 move along. Okay, so we should be on time all day. The 8, 9:45, 11:30, and 1:15 are all varsity games. If you are assigned at 3 o'clock, that is a JV game. That will be one man. But once again, you will not be working a full game. You're going to work a part of a game, whether or not I have 2 or 3 umpires on that field.
If you have a game with 2 officials on, will you allow us anybody to jump on and do a 3-man?
Depending upon who the people are, yes.
Okay.
I don't want to have 2 people out there who I'm going to pick on Peter only because I see his face. I'm not going to send someone out to do 3-man when Peter's doing 2-man and it's the first time he's ever done 2-man on a field. Just because that might confuse him even more. So, it's going to depend on who's working. If it's an experienced crew such as Fletcher and Smith, Brian, you want to jump out there and do 3-man with them? I can
Be
probably
fun.
make that happen.
Something positive about that, though, you could have some inexperienced 3-man umpires standing around you.
Right. So they
Yeah.
get a chance to see it.
Opportunity.
But it's just making sure that the people who are out there running 3-man actually know what they're doing so that it's not, a bad example. Let's put it at that.
I only bring that up is because, we don't really do a whole lot of 3-manning.
Right. And we're trying to get a couple of games during the regular season. There are a couple of games that happen that warrant a 3-man crew if we can get the schools to agree to it, especially if we can get the schools to agree to pay for that.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a 3-man crew on Royal Simi.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Just because that's usually a very competitive game and
A lot of folks.
it's a nasty rivalry that is literally what side of the tracks are you from? So it would be nice to and maybe even a Westlake Oaks game or something like that where if it comes down to their 3rd meeting of the year that's going to determine the Mar-Monte League that we have see if we can get them to do a 3rd umpire. It not only helps us because it allows us to get umpires trained in 3-man and working 3-man. It could also allow those who are not working that have the day off that want to go see it and watch and see what 3-man's supposed to look like. So
I think it's a great idea to help us expand.
we will have our 3-man clinic. We will have a Zoom version of it where it will be diagramming so that everyone can understand what they're doing. At the end of April, anyone who is on the playoff crew for the finals for this year will have to attend the Train the Trainer 3-man clinic, TBA. We don't know where it is yet. It'll probably be somewhere out around Ontario, Upland, somewhere out there, because that's kind of the middle of our massive section. And then the following week, I believe it's May 4th, we have our 3-man on-field clinic that as soon as I determine where that's going to be, and that's a Monday evening, and it's the last week of allowed competition. So hopefully everyone will have that day off and be able to come and attend. But we're doing it after the Train the Trainer so that I can make sure that the information that we're teaching at it is what they want taught. And also, I'm under the impression that the 3 people or 4 people that will be on our championship crew will be the instructors at that, since they just went through it the week before. So we have one other meeting coming up this year. That unless, the only other, okay, let me rephrase that. We have the potential of 2 more meetings prior to the 3-man stuff coming up this year. One is in March, which is our pizza party / whatever you want to call it. Don't know if it'll be pizza party or if we're going to have it someplace else this year. The board will figure that out. The only other potential meeting before we get to the 3-man is for those of you who do not pass test A. Okay. So I'm going to do test B prep on a, as requested. If I get a request to prep for test B, then there will be a meeting. If you have passed test A, you do not need to attend that meeting. I will pretty much tell you, it will probably be pretty much the same thing we did tonight, because all test B is they're going to jumble the questions. There's not a whole lot of changes in there. So hopefully everyone does well enough on test A, get 80% or better.
Were you saying earlier that we can find the questions before we go in to
I'm gonna post this PowerPoint that we went through.
Okay.
Please note they will not be in this order on your test.
Right.
Okay.
I cannot stress that enough. Okay. This just happened to be the order they were in my test. Okay. They're randomizing the questions. They'll be the same questions. They're just going to be in a different order. Okay. But at least if you have, you can go, oh, wait, that was question 15. I can go back and look that up instead of having to go through everything. You've got, 10 pages of questions there to look at. It'll make it easier, but I'll post this PowerPoint up on the website under
I can download it.
Under instructional material, and then you can download that, and then, like I said, be able to go in and mark your answers, and then to have that with you when you go to take your test. Okay. We're trying to do everything short of me handing you the answers to this test. We're doing just about everything we can to help you pass this.
Something else that'll help you clean things up as you take your test. Go ahead and start at number 1. Go through the whole thing and answer the ones you know.
Your problem is with this test setup, Brian, is they're in 10 questions per page.
Okay.
And you have to, I don't think it'll let you go to the next page unless you select an answer. You can always go back during your hour and 45 minutes, but it won't let you go to the next page until you've answered all 10 on your page.
So it's different than the study guide.
Yeah. Well, the study guide did the same thing. It shouldn't have let you go to the next page without answering the 10 on that page.
Okay. I didn't try that.
So, okay. So, but yeah, I will get this posted up there as quickly as I can. I would say probably within the next hour, this PowerPoint will be up there for everyone. You can download it. The video of tonight's presentation will probably be up by tomorrow. In case anybody needs to watch it again.
I'll tell you, the writers of the test, the changes they made are in our favor. There's no multiple answers,
and just so you know, because there were a couple questions or a couple question answer combinations that I questioned with Vince, and I got back. This test came straight from NFHS, so there is nobody in California that hypothetically is responsible for this. It came out of Indianapolis. Although there are some questions that are truly California only kind of stuff. Oh no, I guess not, because there used to be a couple California questions like the halted game and stuff like that, but now they kind of do them generically, so it's not necessarily California doing it, but so hypothetically, every umpire in the nation is taking this test. So it doesn't matter if you're working in Palm Beach, Florida, or Iona, New York, or Kansas, or Nebraska, or Texas, or Arizona, or California, Oregon. Everyone's got the same test in front of them. Okay? Anybody have anything else?
HS.
Yes, Junior.
I know I called you earlier about my thing changing stuff. Please, I can do it early morning around the 2 games if I can for hours.
I will have to look at the schedule and see if there's someone who's willing to switch positions with you.
That'd be awesome.
I can take you off your 3 o'clock game. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But I will have to see if there is someone that is willing to switch times with you. You're already working
Please.
with the early games. But I will see what I can do for you. Okay, JJ? And
Thank
see,
you, sir.
see if I can get you. Well, actually, I can probably switch you with Tony Ortiz, who has the first 2 games since he's not here. He hadn't been notified and he hasn't accepted. So
I appreciate it.
So we'll put you on the 8 and 9:45, and I'll move him to the 11:30 and 1:15.
Thank you. I owe you a hug and a kiss.
No, you don't. I will take whatever zero soda you come across, but you can keep your hug and kiss because I don't want to have to file sexual harassment. Resigning there, JJ. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
If nobody else has a question, gentlemen, have a good night. Good luck on your test. I will get these up as soon as I possibly can. And, you know, if you're taking your test and you come across a question and you're not sure and you think you have enough time to call me. Please note I am working a college game tomorrow. I will be on the field from 1 till 4 probably. So don't expect me to jump on the phone right when you call, but hopefully I can get back to you as soon as possible. Chris, I'm not quite sure what you're trying to write, but
Thanks.
okay, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. Good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Good luck, everybody.
Right, thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
Good night. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah.
You guys are
See you
welcome.
Saturday.
Yep. And I'll get that schedule out tonight. So,
All right.
okay.
Hi, y'all.
I guess I can stop recording now. I guess I can stop the share first. And then go 2 more. Leave. No more, not in. Recordings. I don't see recording. Oh, stop, pause recording.